Hello, brother.
Hello. I had to turn my headset up a little bit. I had it down because everybody was talking last night.
Today's episode's going to be crazy.
A little bit different than usual. I did a little bit of research on one of the issues that I want Sean to talk about.
Which one?
The pyramids of Giza.
Oh, yeah, I don't know anything about that, so I'll let him pop off on that one.
For sure.
I wanted, since the JFK assassination files got released. Brother, Sean!
You smoking weed on the podcast?
No.
I didn't
realize it was going right in.
It's fully endorsed.
Okay.
I've been high on this podcast plenty of times. So,
can you hear me okay and all that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You sound crystal clear. Yeah, you sound better than Dan's overpriced headset.
All right.
I need to shave my beard though, dude.
Yeah, you and me both.
Do
need
you
to trim?
Do we just need to all rock mustaches?
No.
No.
Say no to underage children. We aren't recording yet, are we?
We are 100%. Yeah. But what
he edits things.
Not
everything's gonna make. You don't need to act serious on here at all.
Okay.
Some of the funniest shit that we say
is no fun zone, Sean. This comedy podcast has zero fun. God damn it!
My broad shoulders look amazing on here.
Oh, so wide. Oh. All right, let me get comfortable. I'm going to start this off here.
I don't even understand. Like, why is this AP article explaining what happened to Kennedy back in the 60s? Like, if you're looking up the article about the document dump, don't you think you know what happened outside the book depository in Texas?
I
guess we just have to give context for everything nowadays. This is why
I like much time to jump into it, but a couple things I know: 80,000 documents supposed to be released, non-redacted. 60,000 get dumped, completely, totally redacted.
Yep.
There's a dude on there from somewhere. I sound so fucking ignorant right now because I wasn't really prepared to talk about Kennedy yet because it's pretty fresh. But there's a dude on there. In there with documents where he went to the U.S. prior to it happening, saying, "Hey, this is gonna happen." And of course,
well, hold on, Sean.
Yeah,
let's save it for the episode. We haven't even done the intro.
Oh, okay.
There's a format to this. There's an intro. I'll introduce myself. You guys will do small talk. And
how long you been doing this though?
A total?
2 years.
Over the past
3 years.
3 years and some change.
Yeah.
I think this will be our 44th episode.
Yep.
So I do the intro. Hold on. But to what you said, Pat, the fact that everything needs context or pretext beforehand is the reason that every fucking Batman movie needs to show his parents die or Ben Parker get killed in Spider-Man every single time because we don't already all know that happens. Welcome back to Overqualified Idiots. I am Dan Casey, MD, sports medicine specialist. If you're new to the podcast, this is a podcast where doctors, lawyers, rocket scientists, our pharmacists are dead now, come together in order to share our stories, shoot the breeze, and give our takes on, a given topic or just have fun and hopefully make you laugh along the way. I am joined, as always, by my brother, Patrick Casey, JD.
Hey, what's up? But I'm not the special guest today.
We have a new special. Yeah, you're not special. Nope. You're a different kind of special. Yeah. We have a very special guest, Sean Casey.
Not in the retarded way. Thank you for having me. It only took 3 years, but I understand, and I do want to apologize ahead of time to the listening audience. It's my understanding this is usually a professional plateau. However, they have reached out to the Bridge Troll after 3 years to have this very special episode, which happens to fall under my expertise.
Yes, Sean Casey SB. Short bus. But I think, is it fair to say, Sean, that I would consider you a part-time insurance agent, full-time conspiracy theorist?
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty accurate.
All right.
That's relatively accurate.
Before we usually get into the thick of the episode, we usually have small talk. Anything new in your guys' world? Anything fun going on? Anything worth sharing with the populace?
Bro, Conor McGregor is fucking running for president of Ireland. I did not have that on my bingo card.
What? Why? What?
I didn't have that on my bingo card. That was a surprise. That's fun and interesting.
The funny thing is we have Trump as our president, so I can't exactly imagine that. I'm like, that'll never happen. What happened 9 years ago?
Bad things. Very bad things. For me, going to Spain here soon. To see the boy on the end of his semester abroad in Barcelona.
That's awesome.
Everything else, Rochester office opens on Monday.
Mexico's
Oh, really? You guys have 2 offices?
Yeah, we have a Mankato office, and then we're actually opening an actual official brick and mortar office in Rochester, Minnesota, which is
that's sick.
An hour.
That's
and a half
so cool.
down the road.
Well, maybe not the hour and a half down the road part. I hate that drive.
It's an hour and a half from Mankato to Rochester.
To anywhere.
Oh, shush.
It's not like Phoenix, where an hour and a half is, you're an hour and a half away from everything in Phoenix. Phoenix is an hour and a half away from Phoenix. So
Phoenix.
I was going to say,
away from Phoenix now.
When are you going to Spain, you said?
Like the end of the second week of April.
Oh, okay. We are going to Italy. Just my wife and I are going, I think, the last week of May. I'm talking with my hands. Listeners, you can't see, but I'm speaking in Italian.
Mexico's coming up in a couple months.
June.
That'll be here sooner than later.
Yeah, June. Yep.
You guys going to Cancun again?
Viva la Mexico.
Bro.
It's the Casey's and Sonaye and Natalie and one of Willow's friends.
It's funny. The last episode we recorded was like 4 weeks ago. That's just how hard it is to get us all together. But I'm pretty sure you were going to Mexico or in Mexico or getting back from Mexico.
I was in Mexico the last time we recorded.
The listeners are just going to think you go to Mexico every other week.
Well, that's their problem.
It's every other month.
Don't.
It's every other month.
Shush.
I have a rough life. Well, cool. I don't have anything new. I don't know. I've gotten into the flow of my job. I like what I do. I just hate working at the busiest clinic in the city.
Colorado's pretty dope.
Colorado's awesome. It's a fun town. I don't know if I shared this on the last episode. When I moved, and I don't know how many people share this sentiment. When I moved, I was so apprehensive about moving to a new city. I'd never lived anywhere different. And I was like, oh, but everything I know and love is in Phoenix. Turns out, I don't know, living in Phoenix sucks ass. All my friends, people that I have spent decades with live in Phoenix, and I was apprehensive about leaving them. Colorado's awesome.
Gotten bad. Like, it didn't used to be bad. Yeah. But it sucks.
Well, I don't care who you are. 120 degrees is not. I just go outside and haven't even gotten halfway to my car before I'm so hot I'm pissed off.
You don't got to shovel sunshine though.
That's true, but shoveling.
Yeah.
It's not Minnesota where it's multiple feet. It's
right.
We got a dusting of snow.
The last 2 years.
Say your guys.
The last 2 years we haven't had anything. It's last year there was never
your beard
enough.
Look exactly like my beard. Sorry.
It's like you two are related.
Genetics. Anyways, so the last year there was never enough snow to accumulate to cover the ground. And this year that only happened for a couple weeks. So I don't know if global warming's a thing or not, but certainly the weather patterns lately have been bizarre because the amount of snow and snow accumulation hasn't been there.
I was going to say, when I visited you guys, 8 years ago or whatever it was, I said never again and then I came another winter. But that winter, that was last year, wasn't it? That was not that bad. No. But the first time I went there, I shoveled 2 feet of snow every day for 10 days.
Yeah, because it was really snow. That was one of the, I think it was 2016. It was super snowy that winter. And
yeah, that sucked ass. I hated that.
In St. James, it was really, really bad. We were shoveling constantly.
What does your mustache look like? It owns a brown panel van with blacked out windows.
Fuck you. Mustaches are in now. Shut up. Anyways, moving on. Why does your beard look like you've got to go chop some wood? Fuck you.
It does look like I need to chop some wood.
So I am having Sean on as our resident expert in conspiracy theories. I pretty much doing this in conjunction with the JFK files finally getting released. I think I just wanted to start this with asking Pat the legality of the U.S. government going, hey, this is the set date in 40, 50 years that these top secret files are going to be released, unredacted, whatever. And then for like 2 decades, that date just kept getting moved back. I know there's no one to oversee the overseers, but what is the legality of that? Why does that just keep happening?
I
Come
think
on, family lawyer.
I think that's
Careful how you answer.
I know, right? I think that there's so many layers to the answer to that question that it's hard to like pick a short response, but I'll summarize. It's actually been probably since the late 90s, mid to late 90s, that they've been talking about releasing them. It goes back to Oliver Stone's, JFK movie that tried to do an accurate portrayal and reconstruction of kind of how the whole thing played out. And obviously it was dramatic for Hollywood, but something like that doesn't really have to be that much more dramatic than, somebody shooting and killing the president. But I mean, anytime that you are going to release information that demonstrates that the government did bad things to its own people, it's probably going to be pushed out until most, if not all, of the people related to that incident are dead.
Correct.
I think that's really what it comes down to, is now everybody related to that incident are no longer with us.
Sorry.
So, no, you're fine. So how hard, so why would they? But I mean, the government was intrinsically involved in what happened on that day, not limited to, going all the way to the the VP. The VP, the very person who's going to take over control of that office, was involved in the process at the highest levels of our government. So something like that was covered up. Obviously, and it's still not fully released. Even if you look at the articles and the documents they provided, they're heavily redacted. So they really don't want to show you that they can pull off something like this, that they can really just snow us for 60 plus years.
Look at the monkey. Look at the monkey.
Yeah.
Don't look over here. Look at the monkey.
That they can.
So
the
you
government can do that.
Prosecute a corpse. Wow.
Can't prostitute that bitch either.
Yeah. No, probably not.
So that tracks. But what about, okay, so I've gleaned like a Cliff Notes version of the JFK files because it's like 80,000 pages. So everything I know is secondhand from people who have the time to read 80,000 pages of documents and give their hot takes on it. So between our own government and foreign governments being involved to kill a sitting president, are there not implications 60, 70 years later, even if the people all involved are dead, dying, or past tense? I just don't understand what we have all this information. I think I've said this before, is that like nothing surprises me about conspiracy theories anymore, or our government, based off just the fact of what like the CIA and our government has admitted to doing.
Man,
MK Ultra.
The flip that you two have made in the past 10 years is remarkable.
We'll be back after a quick break.
If you're a podcast host or someone wanting to be interviewed on podcasts as a guest, visit podmatch.com. Podmatch automatically connects ideal podcast guests and hosts together for interviews. We always say it works just like a dating app, but instead of connecting you for dates, it connects you for podcast interviews. Podmatch has connected over 85,000 guests and hosts together for interviews that listeners love, all while saving you countless hours of administrative work through built-in automations. If you're ready to level up your podcast interviews on either side of the mic, start today by visiting podmatch.com.
Okay. So like the Tuskegee syphilis experiment, MK Ultra, like our government and CIA, our intelligence agencies all acknowledge all these things are true, and then they're like, all right, what are you going to do about it? And we don't do anything about it. So
because it's been so far in the past, that's the point, is they hide it until there's nobody that can be really truly held accountable. What it's intended to do, and Sean, you can back me up on this, I really think it's intended to make the people that are currently in power look like they're trying to be transparent, when in reality, they are actually using it as a distraction to cover up everything they're doing right now.
Agreed. Yeah.
So it's like, oh, we used to do bad things. We don't do those anymore. Wink.
All right,
But
gotcha. Move along. Sorry.
is that Ninja?
That's Spinks.
Okay, Vinx is cool. Fuck your other cat.
Let me ask you this.
Your other cat.
On your
I've never been attacked by an animal except your fucking cat.
On your computer, it's because you try to pick them up. On your computer here,
I sit next to him doing nothing.
Are you able to play videos while we talk or no?
Sure.
Okay. Are you able to find the video of the assassination of John F. Kennedy?
Yes.
Oh, sure,
While
it's
we
on
talk?
YouTube someplace.
I'm certain it is, but like, I've looked it up numerous times, numerous occasions, and there's times where it's easy to find. There's other times where it's been difficult, and I've had to really kind of look.
Why do you want us to look that up, buddy?
Well, because when you watch it, what I would ask is that you guys watch it and you look at the driver of the vehicle throughout the entirety of the situation.
Oh, yeah, you showed this to me before, Sean.
And I'd
Just
never
go
seen
ahead
it
and
before. I'd
talk on
probably
it.
seen the video, hundreds of times, if not more, and never noticed what I saw in it. But I don't want to say what I saw in it right now without y'all having seen it or Daniel having seen it and him being able to formulate his own opinion. But it blew my mind. And
I kept seeing him, based off the angle of the one video I'm watching, it looks like the driver keeps looking back.
And then watch when the actual shot happens. And that's the part that was hard for me to find, is the actual shot taking place. I don't know if it's because of the violence or what have you, but
well, that Zapruder video has only been given
about
in certain respects.
What am I looking at? What is that thing?
And then to feel the dead air, just a couple things to think about with John F. Kennedy. What they thought that they were getting is that they thought that they were getting a drug addict, a booze hound, and a womanizer. And what they ended up getting was an individual that was ready to audit the Federal Reserve, which my personal opinion, that is the reason that they did what they did. They took him out the way that they took him out. And the way that the Federal Reserve was established was back in 1913. Congress took a holiday, released its members. I believe there were 13 individuals from Congress that stayed back, took the majority vote, and ended up establishing the Federal Reserve that way. But, the people out there listening that are, in fact, interested in this kind of stuff, I would ask that they certainly don't listen to me, because who the F am I? But go and look and do the research yourselves and put the pieces together for yourselves.
So what I'd heard from the files as well is that with the JFK assassination, there was confirmed to be a second shooter. And so the whole grassy knoll thing was confirmed. And that there was foreign agents involved with our CIA. Between him auditing the reserve, and then I believe, I don't know how much to
put. He wanted to pull us
this
out of Vietnam too, and they didn't want that. It was a cash cow for the then elite and richest members of our country.
So, I guess between all of the conspiracy theories that are known and happening, what? I guess which one do we dive into next? Because ultimately, it sounds like bad people are in control. Little has changed. They're covering something up currently and using past cover-ups to distract us. So what is it to be looked at now? What are we looking out for?
Oh, right now we're looking out for... There it is. Sorry, I was rewatching the Zapruder film. That squirrel. So right now what we need to be looking out for is just basically the full deconstruction of our form of government that is currently in process. That's what's happening now.
Hasn't that already happened? Aren't we already a corporate oligarchy?
We're a corporate fascist oligarchy.
That's what we are currently. Yes, I would not disagree with that assessment. I think what we have to worry about is this president dissolving the legislature and the judiciary. Because right now the legislature is completely ineffectual because it's divided. And the judiciary has no real teeth to require a president to follow the law. So because he has the full weight of the military behind him. So what do we do? That's not a rhetorical question. That's I have no idea. because that's what's going on. You have the whole federal government being imploded from within, so that supposedly the states control education, the states control all of these things, when in reality it'll still be controlled in Washington, just in a different way.
So with him dissolving the Department of Education, you think they're just going to introduce some other body of administration to oversee or legislate or what have you, as far as our education?
No, I
The
think
goal is one world government. That's the end game. That is their
Okay.
end game, is a one world government.
But who is they? I want to know.
Well, that's a damn good question, dude. They go by so many different names, so many different secret societies out there, whether it be the Illuminati, which is more of like a catchphrase than anything. Again, and that's celebrities, sports entertainers, musicians, music industry, so on and so forth. Really, what it breaks down to is Freemasonry. And in particular, because there's Freemasons at the community level, and they're do-gooders, etc. But in
Right.
specific, there is a sect, and it is the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, and there are people like Matt Groening, what's that, DeGrassi Tyson dude, the
Neil deGrasse
Neil,
Tyson,
yeah, that guy. The highest of a high, the 33rd degree Freemasons, the people that really kind of, not, wouldn't say run our world, but definitely sculpt our society. But again, I would encourage people to look this stuff up for themselves and do the history, because I have done the history. And if you hear it without having read any of it or been introduced to it, it sounds crazy. It does. It sounds absolutely off the rocker, shit nuts, until you start looking to it yourself. Because how many times are these coincidences going to happen before you realize and come to terms with, this isn't by accident, this is absolutely intentional, but.
And I see it as somebody who typically has always tried to opposed conspiracy theories and tried to rationalize and take a middleman or outsider perspective on things. I just see it in my career and, in medicine as a whole, the erosion between corporate greed and just the absolute erosion into like the profession that was considered one of the most respectable, most well thought of, is now being turned into what feels like a joke. We're just the punchline at the end of everything, and insurance runs the world. And it's like, okay, so whoever controls all the decisions, well, who controls it? The people who control the money. So then insurance has just become out of control, and there's never been any attempt at legislature to rein them in on any means. So I couldn't help
At
but
least
like,
not in our country.
not in ours,
One
no.
pill.
No.
There you go.
So to see that just constant like erosion into physicians' powers to create what becomes small obstacles to care becomes dozens of obstacles, it becomes loopholes, to become basically this erosion to the fabric of my area of expertise. And nowadays, like in our culture, there's no respect for physicians. There's no respect for expertise.
No.
And
it's not
like,
your guys'
no,
faults at all. It's not your fault.
it's like, I'm just a prescription monkey that people come
That's
to see.
correct, yes.
Pat, you even said at one point, you're like, we just wait for doctors. God, we just wait for them. It's like, yeah, because I'm seeing 30 other
Come on,
people.
buddy.
That's true.
So when it comes to the system in place, I'm just a cog in a machine. And seeing that over a 30-year span of my life just happen, from when I thought about becoming a physician at like 10 or 12 to going through the training, and even from when like the Affordable Care Act was instituted to repealed to the absolute shit show that insurance and healthcare in our country is now, all it takes is like this insider peek at how our systems are completely degraded and manipulated to benefit a small minority at the top. And it's not physicians, it's not doctors. No. The Affordable Care Act actually put into legislature that physicians cannot be on the C-suite of any basically publicly traded medical entity. So no physician can be a decider in the operations of a major healthcare, pick your favorite, as far as any of the major healthcare conglomerates. So once I kind of just saw that, it's like, okay, well, let's just take a look at other institutions because it can't just be happening in my one corner of the world.
Education is the worst. They put people in positions of administration that never taught in a classroom. These larger corporations hire these CEOs that are just nothing more than glorified accountants that don't know what the business actually does. I mean, it's just about trying to do everything to lower costs and increase the bottom line, cost-saving measures, etc. So,
yeah, I'm a doctor. What am I here to do?
Right,
Increase
prescriptions.
shareholder value.
You're here to make
Yeah.
pharmaceutical companies money is what it boils down
sure.
to.
So when it comes to like, okay, it's obviously happening in my line of work. What other areas in the world is it happening in? So
All of them.
all of them. That
Well,
feels
we've
like
got
the
this-
correct answer.
We've got this, I don't know where we turn the corner on, not having any appreciation for science, fact, knowledge, intelligence. I don't know at what point that corner was turned that we just don't listen to it anymore. And it might be just the point at which the World Wide Web connected us with all of this information, and we just assume that because we can read it on a WebMD that we know more than what about our bodies than what the medical professional who's been doing it for, or what have always called Google lawyering, which.
So here, from
mean,
an outsider's perspective, right? I don't work in the medical field, never have, never been a part of it. But correct me if I'm wrong, but prescriptions don't fix anything. And if they did work, if they did fix anything, there wouldn't be a need for refills on prescriptions. So
Yeah.
essentially what they've done is if we really truly wanted to heal people and keep them healthy, we would talk more about exercise, sunlight, the way that we eat specifically, and then the FDA that approves some of these things that we ingest that are causing these sicknesses, like seed oils that used to be utilized as motor oil for farm equipment, or some of the dyes that are in these foods, or
Yeah, but this administration is actually working towards trying to get rid of those things and changing those things.
Same thing. I'll believe it when I see it. Same thing with the Epstein files. I'll believe that shit when I see it.
No. They've already gotten rid of some of those dyes you're talking about.
Some.
No, I understand your skepticism, but to the credit of that nut job RFK that's there, these are some of the things he wants to do. He's also completely anti-vax. I don't agree with that
statement. I don't think he's anti-vax. I think he wants answers like the rest of us do. And if I, as a human being, want to see a study done between the correlation of autism and the correlation of vaccination, not done by people with interest in the system, does that make me anti-vax? I don't think so.
No.
I think it makes me want some people held accountable and some realistic information on the matter that, again, isn't bought and paid for by companies or CEOs or corporations. That makes because again, the disillusion comes from the fact that, like, we've been lied to over and over again, and it just, you tell us one thing and here's the reality of the situation, or they say, oh, and again, if these vaccinations are so good for us and they're the right thing to do, and again, some of them probably are, but some of them might not be. You don't rightly know. I don't rightly know. I can't say for sure. You can repeat back what you've been told by those corporations, sure. But, until they do some sort of study on it, that's it, man. I just want answers. It doesn't make me anti-vaccination. I just want answers on what's really going on. Is there a correlation between these different things? Because it certainly seems like it, but it's not always causation. But they won't answer it. They won't do those studies. There won't be independent findings. And
well, so a couple of things. So like the MMR vaccine, right, was introduced in 1971. Polio was cured. Like, we don't have polio, and now we have a measles outbreak because of laws becoming more lax on childhood vaccinations. When it comes to vaccinations that have been around for decades, the studies have validated them. As far as the correlation between autism and vaccination, autism existed long before vaccinations.
But it wasn't
we just didn't
as
have
prevalent.
We didn't have a name for it.
It wasn't as prevalent.
The guy who sat in his basement collecting trains and didn't talk to people was not just Jim who was a little quirky. Like, we didn't name it. So when it comes to vaccinations, it wasn't prevalent because we never diagnosed it. We just thought that guy was weird. So I want to curtail the thought that like all vaccinations are bad until we have all the answers. Like, a lot of those studies have been validated. A lot of those studies have been proven.
By who?
Well, mostly the CDC and the Centers of Disease Control, independent physicians and entities prior to that. Sure. But when we talk about measles, we have more cases in the first 3 months of this year compared to the entirety of last year.
Mm-hmm.
And that was in Texas alone. Now it's in New Mexico, and the cases continue to grow. There's 1 child dead, and I think it's something along the lines of 90 hospitalized. So when it comes to vaccinations that have been proven to be safe, and when it comes to the rates of autism, I personally believe it probably has to do with our diet. Because if you want to point to environmental factors...
Let's not discount genetics as well.
Yeah, and there is a genetic factor to it, too. There is essentially autism. It is a spectrum, and so you can have really bad autism, or you can have mild autism. So high functioning is kind of, they used to call it, what do they used to call it? We don't call it anymore. Asperger's, that's right. But we don't call it that anymore because we recognize that there are degrees of that. Now, to lend a little expertise on some of the things you're saying, like preventative health, absolutely, 100%. We don't stress it enough in this country. We don't stress it enough in healthcare because allopathic medicine is about treating a problem before, once it is a problem, instead of preventing it from ever coming to fruition. If everybody lost something like 20% of their body weight in our country, would cut the medical healthcare costs in half. For the United States. That's 20% of your body weight, which, yes, many people, considering, I think it's something like 60 to 70% are considered obese in this country. The funny thing is, we're not even the most obese country in the world anymore. I think the UK overtook us. If you cut 20% of your body weight, most people won't have hypertension. Most people won't have diabetes anymore. And when you look at the preventative medications we end up putting people on for chronic medical conditions, like blood pressure medications, when we talk about statins for high cholesterol, the preventative measures for chronic care management probably makes you live about 6 months longer. Mm-hmm. At least that is kind of what the projections suggest. So I'm giving you 6 months by refilling your prescription and putting you on a pill, versus if I convince you to exercise, to eat healthier, to make better choices, to make lifestyle changes. And
it's too late when you're at the point where you need to make those changes.
There's no time for that in a 15-minute appointment when you have 5 or 6 chronic issues to discuss, and there's 20 more people waiting in the waiting room who are pissed off that I'm 20 minutes behind. Patrick.
Hey, dude.
I've walked
out on one appointment where I was in almost 6 o'clock. It was a 4:30 appointment, and at about 5:50, I'm like, all right, I've reached my limit. I need a new doctor. So
yeah, I agree. 2 hours is pretty egregious. But yeah, there's no patience, there's no tolerance, and there's no respect for the field, because I feel like our field has been degraded and eroded into...
So we're all in agreement to some extent, just different.
Right? I mean, there's a child dead with measles. That hasn't happened in like 17 years.
Right.
So, when it comes to preventative care, I have plenty of people come in. I have seen the worst flu season ever this year. Yeah. There are more flu A cases. People keep posting on TikTok and YouTube, I put something different in the flu this year. No, fuckers, you didn't get vaccinated. And to be honest, the vaccine wasn't very good. Every single person I've diagnosed with flu A was unvaccinated. And I will say this, the vaccine does not prevent you from getting it. No, I agree. The way that vaccines work is trying to prime your immune system. We're trying to make your white blood cells go, hey, that's what that sucker looks like. Get ready to fight him. And in about March or April of every year, the AIPC comes together with the FDC Vaccine Task Force to look at what is happening in the Southern Hemisphere. The flu flies south for the winter. That's just what happens. Their flu season is our summer and vice versa. And they look at the strands that are popular or bumping then, and they go, okay, this is probably the strains we should try to vaccinate for. And we were wrong. This year was not great. So yeah, I've seen people who've gotten the flu but haven't come in to be seen by me in an acute setting. But usually they kick it in a day or two instead of 5 to 7 days.
Right.
And so, yeah, now the AIPC meeting for flu vaccination for next year has been canceled indefinitely. We don't even know if we're going to have a flu vaccine next year. So when it comes to the thought of what happens if we just get rid of them? Well, we're going to find out real quick because no one's getting them anyways. And so when it comes to one of the more preventable and common infections that happen, not even talking about COVID, I'm talking about the flu. We all know the flu. We've known the flu for 30, 40 years.
No, for
it is
longer,
at the highest, of our lifetimes. It has been the worst it has ever been because no one is getting it. So
yeah, I don't trust it. Nobody
I'll be
trusts
at
it
odds with
anymore.
you on that. That's fine. And I mean, I don't know if that's a failing on healthcare professional side of things. I personally think it's a rigging of the system because I don't have time to talk to patients about the importance of it. I just have patients come in who go, well, I've been treating my son's flu A fever of 104 degrees with essential oils and he's not getting better. I'm like, okay, well, here you should take Tylenol and children's Motrin. They're like, oh, we don't give medications in this house. I'm like, all right, why are you here? You don't trust modern medicine, so why are you talking to me?
So,
well, what do we do? I'm like, I don't know, just
Pray,
give him flu,
thoughts
give him
and prayers.
thoughts and prayers because that's worked so well so far.
well,
Anyways.
two things jumped to my mind, and I probably just forgot one of them. But so
you are high.
Here's the deal, man. Why are these corporations that create these vaccines not held accountable if there's something that goes awry
Well,
with them?
now that's
horseshit.
interesting.
There's no
Okay,
accountability.
Yeah, I want to hear the
Wait,
legality.
hold on. That's your one point. What's your second one? I don't want to jump all over you.
The other one was, so there's no accountability for these corporations. The other thing is media, right? I don't trust the media one bit. They're proven liars over and over again. Not this outlet, not that outlet. Every motherfucking outlet, proven liars over and over again. I can point out hundreds of instances. You want me to send you videos afterwards? Cool. Why would we trust that? And I'll tell you one thing, man, that stands out in my mind above anything else is when coronavirus first started, we were seeing videos on our media from China of people dying in the streets from it, dead bodies all over the streets. And our media was pushing it and warning us. And now that I look back on that, it seems pretty fucking silly to me. So you're going to tell me that I have to take something where there's no accountability whatsoever on behalf of the people that created it, the Pfizer, Moderna, et cetera. You guys, like, I mean, do you really wonder why people don't trust this stuff anymore? Or, what are we
No,
really
I don't.
talking
That
about?
in that particular instance, I understand why.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something else, and this is where the accountability comes in. There is actually, and assuming that this court hasn't been disbanded by executive order, and I'm not aware of it, or it happens in the meantime. But right now there is an actual federal court of claims where there's money set aside by the federal government from the sale and distribution of vaccines to pay people for injuries that occur as a result of taking said vaccines. And there are hundreds of different side effects, known side effects that are compensated by making those claims. My law firm makes claims on behalf of people nationwide for that harm. Right now, I think they're in the works of getting approved, or at least they were before this administration, of known side effects from the COVID vaccine where that accountability comes from. So the funding from that comes from the actual sale and distribution of the vaccines themselves to compensate people for harm.
And you're talking about the National Vaccine Injury Compensation Program, right? Which I believe is headed up by it's like the HRSA Health Resource and Service Admin or something like that.
I'm honestly, I don't do the court. I don't make those vaccine court of claims filings. But I mean, if you were able to just Google it, you probably have a better answer than I do. I just know from talking to my colleagues who do prosecute those claims. Obviously you're dealing with the federal government. It takes time to get those claims done. But people that are seriously injured or killed from the vaccines, it does, even when you have a proper claim that's accepted by the court, it can take 6 months for it to be finalized. So
yeah, so
that's just the federal government. I mean,
for example, like with the COVID, I get what you're saying, Sean, because of the mandates. It's like, well, okay, you don't want to take the vaccine, you lose your job. I don't know if I agree with that extent of seriousness, especially in times when things were so new. I was in the ER in March of 2020 for my ER rotation, and everything was so Like, I was on one shift where recommendations as far as treatment and approach changed hourly.
Sure.
Nobody knew what they were doing. Nobody had guidelines. Nobody knew what to recommend or even do. We were literally learning on the fly. I don't know that I have a good answer.
And that's part of that's part of the problem, right, Dan? Because we live in a 24-hour news cycle, and things change so rapidly in the understanding of the virus, and it affected different people differently. That's why people didn't have trust in the process, because one day we're saying X, the next day we're saying Y. Well, science is fucking messy, man, especially if you're trying to figure it out as it's happening.
Science takes time.
Yeah.
Those vaccines that we have on childhood schedules have been validated for decades. For a vaccine that got pushed in, inside of 10 months, in my head at the time, I'm like, oh, this is a crowning achievement. And then we find that the efficacy was pretty poor.
I believe
and the rates
they
of
said it was
complications
100% effective and safe.
Yeah, 99 or 98%, depending on which brand you looked at. And the safety issues were validated for 3 months. So, because the vaccine was produced in 10, which is unheard of. So when you talk about, it's 100% safe, we can't say beyond the time of the study, how long it was safe for. I mean, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine got pulled after a couple months once they found they were causing clots. But yeah, Moderna and Pfizer, the long-term implications for pericarditis.
No, it's not at all.
And that's why it got pulled. And the claims
conditions that were caused by Pfizer's version. There's things that are working through the process. At least they were. And you hear me say this caveat every fucking time, and it's because of the goddamn administration that we have right now, dismantling things like the CDC and taking us out of the WHO, World Health Organization, and just literally kneecapping some of the things that would be utilized to get approval with these courts for people to essentially sue the government for foisting or requiring these vaccines and having people be able to recover for them. That hasn't happened yet. It's in process. It's going to happen, or it's not. I mean, it should be continuing that process, and that may take 5, 10, 15 years to get to that point from the time that they did the mandate. But with the current administration, that's a serious roadblock to that potential possibility. I mean, I know RFK's Maha movement might be something that keeps that moving in that direction, but without his ability to utilize the CDC to have those studies and validate those injuries and correlate them to make that cause and effect, like you were talking about before, Sean. If the government is actively cutting the funding or firing those workers just out of hand, then it makes it impossible for
there will be no continuancy. There will be no continuity for those ever to get done.
It'll be almost like a start
it does
over.
Take a decade. It does. As far as good science is slow. Unless you want to, if you want to go the Tuskegee syphilis conspiracy theory, we learned so much. That was started in 1930 and the public didn't learn about it until 1971 when it was officially disbanded. We have learned so much about the primary, secondary, and tertiary stages of syphilis because of that. The hypothermia studies done by the Nazis gave us abundance of data that people question whether or not we should even use. Yes, we should use it because it's scientifically objective information, and it would be disrespectful to the people who died to give us that information. Yes, their rights were violated, and I think that science should be slow and be humane. But that's kind of the thing, is it has to be slow, and people don't like slow answers. People don't want slow fixes. So that's kind of how as Patrick said very eloquently, is kneecapping kind of like the scientific and the administrative side of things. But now, you're right. If we just fire everybody who's already been doing the work,
what you're saying is right, Sean, and it's worse. And it's worse because of what's going on right now.
Also, fuck Bill Gates.
Okay,
I just needed to get
we've said that before.
Just
actually, Bill Gates. I have a lot of problems with, but I agree with you wholeheartedly on your sentiment there.
He's a eugenicist.
But he is definitely a eugenicist. However, he is pushing back really hard against this administration because of many of the things that I just said.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he has some pull there, but he's probably going to be the next person that gets cut out by the Don and fired. You're not the billionaire at the table like some
Like
of these
Musk.
others. Yeah, let's not talk about Elon Musk. We don't have time for that.
Yeah, we have less than 12 minutes.
I don't
I gotta
trust
pick up my
What
kids.
about okay? So moving.
trust any billionaire person.
No, I don't. Yeah,
No, you have
billionaires
to
aren't
be-
looking out for us.
a sadist to become a billionaire. I'm convinced of it at
I'm
this point.
convinced of that too.
Nobody is that successful. Oh, I work so much harder.
But
I
I'm
wake up at
certainly
4 in the
not
morning.
a left-wing person either. But
No, I grew
I
up on
feel
the
I hate
notion
them
of
all.
working hard. I get it. I grew up on the American
the
dream.
American dream, we should be able
Yeah.
to work and be able to provide. The end, dude, we'd be chill. We would be so chill if that were the case. But the
And
rich
now-
get richer, we systematically get poorer, and the middle
Yep.
class is eroding.
What
Yeah.
middle class?
Yeah,
I'm a dual physician household income, and I know we're in the top 3% of incomes. I feel upper middle class. I know that's very privileged
Bro,
to
you
say.
rich.
I know, but I don't feel
he's
rich.
not.
God
But
damn it!
You say that, but he's not.
I mean, it's the thing. If I was rich, I wouldn't question whether or not I had guacamole at fucking Chipotle every time. Like,
Mhm.
ooh, is that in the budget? I gotta pay my loans this month. Maybe we'll hold off.
No,
Like,
that's
no,
fair.
if I was rich, I wouldn't give a fucking thought about it. I'd just do it.
Right.
But I'm still budgeting. I'm well off. I'm fine. I'm comfortable. I'm not, I'm very privileged. I work hard to get where I am, and I've been very fortunate. But at the end of the day, like, the income that we have shouldn't make us feel as on edge as we should in these times.
Right.
When I
No
go to
shit.
when I go to Costco and eggs are $8, and I understand there's a lot of extenuating circumstances to that, and I look at it and I go, ooh,
Like them murdering
maybe we'll just-
chickens and telling us that the bird flu and this and that and the other motherfucking thing through the media and causing the panic and the scares. Dude, I'm over it. We're being manipulated on a level that most people can't even comprehend.
And the thing is, I don't think everybody wants to get rich and be all powerful. I think most
No.
people want to be comfortable.
They just want
I think people want to have enough money to not have to think about money. And that's what I wanted in life. I
Mhm.
wanted to not have money problems be a problem. And now everyone is struggling. Everyone I talk to is struggling. Everyone I know is struggling. And I'm sitting there going like, how are they supporting a family of 3 on an income that's a quarter of mine? I have no clue.
Yeah, no doubt. I have the
They're
same
feeding them
thoughts.
shit food to create customers for the pharmaceutical companies in the future.
And I do believe that the food industry is corrupt, evil, and entirely, profit driven and is poisoning us.
Yeah, damn.
When I go back
I
to
still
preventative
love-
health,
My sausage McMuffin with egg every once in a while. I'm just saying.
don't get me wrong, I love it. Everything that is good to me is bad for me. But I agree in the sense that it's being done by design. I don't know if I think that food industry executives or scientists are sitting down with pharmaceutical executives, but it wouldn't surprise me.
They all run in the same circles.
I was going to say
So-
they all own the same businesses
companies.
and have
It's
the
all
same.
they're all
Yeah.
like I was talking to Sean. What was it? When I was driving home from work on Friday, about how Pepsi owns all of these different food companies, which are owned by a corporation that's connected to one of the major healthcare industries. I
Mhm.
mean, they're all
It's
interconnected.
all intertwined. And it's all
Yeah.
BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street is what it boils down to. 3 major corporations.
And so, like, all of our food,
Write
drink,
that down, audience.
pharmaceuticals
Google that
are
shit,
owned by
look
like the
into it.
same 3 families who probably like tee off on the weekends together. And in the line of not creating monopolies, are competing allegedly.
They were on
I-
Epstein Island.
Oh, the Epstein files got released. I haven't looked
No,
into
they
that.
didn't.
No, they did
No,
not.
they didn't. It was the
No.
same
Oh, never mind.
court, same redacted.
Crap that they did before. Yeah.
It's from a court
So it's a white-
case.
So it's a white paper with
Yeah,
like
it's strike
3
two,
words
man.
and all black lines.
Strike 2, bro.
Yeah.
I guess
So, like,
you'd
all
say
those
a
files-
Strike 2.
So since we're let's talk about end this segment with something cool, Dan.
Oh yeah,
This
you
is
brought up
something
something Sean knows about, right?
This conversation with Sean was just like, and it also apparently made it on another very, very popular podcast. No, we're not plugging that motherfucker.
Hello,
You better-
Jogan?
You better
I'll just go
delete that.
I'll
He's
go
part
ahead
of
and
that
bleep that.
problem. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Anyway, so a popular podcast talked about this, but yeah, the pyramids in Giza.
Yeah.
Tell you run with this, Sean. This is
I don't know anything about
I
this,
did
so-
some research on it, but I
So
read
there are
some
these
articles. But
cylindrical masses underneath, multiple cylindrical masses. They're about, like, I think they said 600 meters, which is like half a mile in height, and then they're down like 2 kilometers.
I think what I read was 2,100 feet down, that each of these, that there are 6 to 8 of these like shafts, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was reading. Does that sound, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And they just discovered them.
How did they discover them, out of curiosity? Because obviously that's very far down.
I forget what the technology is called, but it's a new technology some dude created that can...
So essentially like underground sonar.
Like underground sonar, essentially.
Yeah. Some type of magnetic resonance that can see underground. That it actually was from
fucking magnets.
Space. Actually, they did it from satellites to do this resonance that found these, like, I don't know what you said, cylindrical pathways or tunnels or something.
Don't know yet.
Not
is
sure.
Is it like a chamber?
If you're talking about a chamber, not in like the classical sense that you think of it in your head of like this big room. There's like, imagine
like
it more
giant
like
turbines almost, dude.
Yeah,
like round cylinder turbines.
Imagine it like a really big, a 2,100 foot stairway downward into the ground beneath the pyramids, and that there's like 6 or 8 of them underneath these pyramids that go straight down into the ground, like just huge cylinders, pathways that are into the ground, and we don't know where they go next because they're that far into the ground that they can't detect what's underneath. But who the hell? I mean, what do you think, Sean? Like, what are your thoughts, or what have you read about what that?
My first
what does
thought
that mean?
is this even fucking true?
Yeah.
Secondly, did you guys know that there's a pyramid in the Grand Canyon?
Really?
Grew up in
No.
Arizona my whole life. Do you know that there's a pyramid in the Grand Canyon that we're not allowed to visit?
Are you talking about like the Bass Pro Shop?
Again, people listen, Google that shit.
I'm
Googling
Googling
That's the seventh largest pyramid in the world, by the way.
But no, apparently there's a pyramid in the Grand Canyon. But anyway, so the other thing that I was talking about is like, just, I don't know, man. Like, there supposedly there used to be giants, the Nephilim, all that stuff, et cetera, et cetera. Like, so either aliens invented this stuff, right? And these are long forgotten technologies, or there is something that happened long time ago, and the Bible is actually correct about it. Like, it's like a 50-50 because we didn't build that stuff, if that makes sense. Something inexplicable built that stuff.
Assuming it's true. But yeah.
Assuming that it's true to begin with, yes.
I just think if it's a tomb beneath a tomb, I'm like, fuck it, just unleash the curse already. We're ready.
Sean, were you talking about Cheops Pyramid? I'm reading about it as we speak.
I don't know what his name is. I just know that it's in the Grand Canyon.
Well, they're claiming that it's a naturally formed pyramid structure in the Grand Canyon. At least that's what I'm reading as I go through. But it is off limits. It's restricted.
Right. I don't know.
Because the pyramids and caves full of hieroglyphics and Egyptian relics is one of the things I'm reading. So it's Wikipedia is the.
So is it natural?
I know. That's what. Every place I go, I'm going Reddit. I'm going to Wikipedia, Grand Canyon West. Interesting.
But yeah, there's a fucking pyramid in the Grand Canyon. I had no idea, dude. It's a trip.
I didn't know that. As far as the chambers / turbines / buried, I don't know what to call them at this point. Yeah, 2,100 feet. That's how many? That's
Isn't that a half mile?
That's 21 football fields, right?
Well, a football field is 300 yards, which is technically
100 yards, 300 feet.
300 feet, excuse me. So it's 7 football fields down, and yeah, it's mile. Isn't a mile
5,280 feet? You pick up that ball, you run every one of them. Anyway, sorry.
It's about a half a mile.
Yeah, so it's slightly less than a half mile because meters are slightly longer.
That's
than
how
yards.
big those cylinders are. And they're 2 miles underneath the surface.
Well,
right. Yeah, that's the point that you were making, is they're much further below the surface because they've excavated those pyramids, but they didn't.
So is this some form of ancient technology that has civilization already happened and then we fucked up in a major way and we're redoing it? One way or another, history is not what we're told it is. And there is so much more to this universe than what we know about. And like I said,
You're not going to talk about aliens now. We got like 2 or 3
I
minutes.
don't believe in aliens.
I think it's kind of been elaborated on pretty well for technologies and societies with the constant of the speed of light and how far any sort of planet that lives or orbits within the, sustainable zone of any adjacent galaxies, it's, thousands of light years away. It would not be probable, I would say, for any sort of alien civilization to reach us and then go back. There is theoretically the possibility through black holes and portals, but again, this is all theoretical, and the idea of
sounds like you've been
aliens
listening to
visiting
that
us.
33rd degree Freemason Neil deGrasse Tyson, Daniel.
Sure, but nothing can go faster than the speed of light. Nothing can go faster. Like, you can't travel 1,000 light years in a lifetime. I don't know. I am convinced aliens exist. I believe aliens are alive and exist, but I don't think any have ever visited us because we live in an infinite universe that is expanding, which doesn't make a lot of sense when you think about it. Infinite's getting bigger, but
what if we don't?
What if we don't?
What if we're in a locker in some?
What if it's Men in Black
domed
2?
over fishbowl, Operation Dominic?
A domed over fishbowl?
Yeah. What if we are? How the fuck would we ever know? I don't know.
You mean
it's
outside of
just
having
to think about, dude?
Well, this goes back to the whole not respecting expertise thing. As far as, like, if we don't trust experts, then we don't trust anything we hear ever.
It comes full circle.
If we're never going to trust experts or have some reliance on the people who put in decades of their lifetime and research into something, then we're never going to answer any questions beyond what we've already decided we know. We're never going to question things other than what we decide don't fit our
I question everything,
which is a good place to be. I think at some point trust probably should play a role in, I don't know, talking to your doctor. But I think your doctor should also emphasize the things we know that work, like preventative health, eating well, eating less, and moving more,
right?
And the general things. So yeah,
like I don't think we should be eating 3 times a day, dude. It's not necessary. It makes your gut sick.
Or even just not having large meals and having small meals and grazing. It's fine. That being said, I got to wrap this up. Any parting thoughts before I go?
Number one, we haven't even tickled the nipple on conspiracy theory in this world, but it was super fun, dude. Super fun.
Yeah. I like shooting the shit with you guys. And I guess challenging certain notions because there is my sort of, wheelhouse that I know a lot about and can shed some light on. Patrick, I appreciate you shedding some light on, on how little light we can shed.
Yeah. And I think that the best quote that I can come up with here to end this is, trust no one, Mr. Mulder. There you go. And the last being that, liberty dies typically to thunderous applause. So,
yeah, that's true. Anyways, all right. Hey, on this comedy podcast, I'm glad we ended on that note.
Because we haven't even touched on the fact that citizens and people with legal statuses here are getting scooped up in these fucking raids by our own government.
Illegally in some instances.
People don't fucking believe it's actually happening.
And there's no due process. It's just happening.
Yeah, fuck. So on that note, have a great day, folks.
Thank you, listeners, for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this. I don't know what to take away from it. I feel every time we go into one of these topics, it's very depressing. Good luck out there.
Great. I had a great
I guess it's better to talk about it.
2 decades to deal with this shit psychologically. I feel wonderful.
All right, good man. Glad for you.
It's because he's high. He's fucking high.
Speculation officer.
Follow us on all major podcast platforms. Like, follow, subscribe, download the episodes, show your support, and we will see you guys next week. Take care.